All right. Well, you mentioned your Z.
Mhm.
This week, well, last week, they announced the new Z, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have some interesting insight to that, right? Because I had a chance to photograph the Club Sport 23
Hmm.
and I did a video on it. As you know, 23 is, Nissan.
Yep.
Right? That was their Nissan's first SEMA project, if you could believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, so before Nissan would just bring stock vehicles or race cars or other vehicles to SEMA. They never actually built anything specifically for the SEMA show, right?
Okay.
So for the Club Sport 23, a couple of years ago, they commissioned Brian Wilkerson and Ray Shake from MA Motorsports, who used to run Forsberg's program, to build the Club Sport 23, which
Hmm.
is like I called it way early on, basically the new Z. Well, at the time, I
Hmm.
called it, and you can find it in the video that I published all those years ago. I called it the new 300ZX in
Hmm.
essence, right?
Okay.
So it's 3 liter
Hmm.
E6 twin turbo manual transmission in a 370Z body. And the 3 liter, of course, is out of the Nissan or the Infiniti Q series.
Hmm.
But Brian and Ray really did their magic on it and made it all work. Yeah, that
Hmm.
car.
Yep.
Yeah. So they made it work with
Hmm.
everything. Everything worked. The transmission, there was no check engine lights. Everything was flawless. So this
Hmm.
was like a concept, I think.
Okay. Okay.
And I had a chance to ride in it. I had a chance to photograph it. I did ask to drive it, but they said no.
Oh, really?
It's a pretty cool car though. Look
Mm.
at the exhaust. So in essence,
Oh,
I've
yeah. It's yeah.
ridden and I've photographed the concept, which is just such a cool vehicle. It really is.
How did
Yeah.
you like the look of the Z Proto?
So, well, we don't actually know what the production one's going to be like, right?
Hmm.
Because it is a prototype.
It's going to
It's
be close. It's going to be very close.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
people tell
yeah,
us.
yeah. There's certain things that I think are impossible to keep, right? But potentially the shape of it and then the size of it, it is a little bigger than the 370Z. I mean, I'm all for it. I can't wait to drive it. I can't wait to enjoy it. I think it's going to
Hmm.
be pretty cool. Um, it's just definitely a different direction compared to what Toyota did with the Supra,
Hmm.
and hopefully it pays off financially for Nissan. They need it bad.
Hey, Larry, what are there any aspects that kind of jump out at you about the design of this car that you like, or you dislike, or you think are weird, or um, provoke any
You know,
thoughts?
one of the first things that I said is a lot of people don't like the way it looks, but just let the aftermarket get take their shot at it. As soon as the aftermarket touches that thing, it's going to be shaped to however you like your cars. There's a lot of aspects of it that I think it's. I mean, I love the way the back looks. I think it really part of what makes the 300ZX so cool is the tail lights and the back of that car. I think this kind of gives a little bit of a throwback. Um, I mean, in terms of looks, honestly, I'm definitely more interested in the performance aspect. Um, Part of it is because it being a modern turbo car, and you just breathe on that thing, it's going to make so much power. I know for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people did not like. I think if anything was the most criticized, I think it was the grill.
Mhm.
The grill area. People did not like the
Yeah,
square grill. Looks like just a big kind of a hole, big square hole.
and that's kind of like I said, is that something that let the aftermarket work on that, and if it could be something where it mimics the 240Z, kind of how the 240Z has a bumper
Hmm.
splitting the grill.
Mhm.
Who knows? Maybe that's something that will happen, or maybe these photos just don't accurately represent it.
That's true. I want to see this thing in real life before.
Yeah.
I look at it.
That you have to see some cars in real life, and I do have to say, you know, I have a Supra, but I love the fact that this, as it sits right now, doesn't have any fake vents. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, we've seen several iterations and body kits on the internet, you know, already of this car, and they look pretty good.
Yeah,
You know?
some of them look amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the one that John Sabal did,
Mhm.
they look really good.
A couple of
Yeah,
them.
he did one of my car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you look at a car like that, like where would you like to see it, you know, as a photographer? You know, where would you like to shoot a car like that?
You know, all of the cars that we've seen so far, or all of the pictures, have been in the daytime. I'd love to shoot it at night and see how it reacts to light.
Yeah,
That's a good
especially
point.
that yellow paint, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, or you know, other colors. Like, I feel like the Z in general, it's always been a car that it always had interesting colors, right?
Mhm.
So like the first Z33s, they came in interesting colors. Like there was that burnt orange, and then they had that like brickyard purple, and they've just had so many different colors. It's just not just boring, you know. That the thing I hate about cars now is just like there's just so many that are just black, white, gray, and different shades of silver or whatever. You know, it needs to have the whole palette, as many as you can fit, or as many as people are willing to buy.
Mhm.
And I love that about the Z.